All right, let's jump straight into this explainer and decode exactly why your brain builds this completely vivid alternate reality every single night, only to immediately tear it down. Last night, you probably had what, 4 to 6 dreams? You might remember one if you're lucky. But while you were in them, they felt completely real. Not dream real, actually real. The emotions, the situations, all of it happening directly to you. So, what is your brain actually doing in the dark? Well, over your lifetime, you're going to spend 6 whole years doing this. 6 years. That is a staggering amount of time. You're investing roughly 2 hours every single day into generating these highly narrative, bizarre experiences while completely unconscious. But here is the wild part. Scientists call it the forgetting paradox. Your brain systematically erases almost all of these dreams within 30 seconds of you waking up. Think about that. 95% of your dreams vanish before your feet even hit the floor. Your brain puts all this effort into building an emotionally charged reality and then just intentionally wipes the slate clean. Now, this rapid memory loss isn't some weird glitch. It happens because of a massive neurochemical shift. Basically, norepinephrine, that's the neurotransmitter that tags your waking experiences for memory retention, is practically absent during REM sleep. At the exact same time, your logical prefrontal cortex goes completely offline, while your amygdala, your emotional center, is firing on all cylinders. That specific combo is what allows impossible, gravity-defying events to feel completely normal to you, while simultaneously preventing you from permanently storing those memories. Yet, even with this daily amnesia, there's a clear pattern. Researchers have documented that certain highly emotional dream themes show up consistently across every single culture on Earth. Being chased, 75% of people experience that. 73% get that terrifying falling sensation. 34% are flying freely. And yes, showing up to an exam completely unprepared is a universal human anxiety. Since these themes pop up everywhere from North America to remote indigenous populations, it strongly points to a shared neurological origin. We aren't learning these culturally. Our brains are hardwired to generate them. Okay, moving on to section 2, the urgency of dreaming, why the brain fights for REM. See, dreaming isn't just random static. It's a biological mandate that your brain actively fights to protect. If someone selectively deprives you of REM sleep, like waking you up the absolute second you start to dream, your brain creates a severe REM rebound effect. The next time you sleep, your brain dramatically increases your REM time to catch up. It is literally repaying a biological debt. That proves whatever dreaming is doing, your body absolutely considers it essential for survival. Sleep scientists highlight just how urgent this process is. Matthew Walker hits the nail on the head here, noting that sleep, and specifically REM dreaming, is the single most effective thing we can do to reset our emotional and mental health each day. If you miss those crucial REM cycles, you're looking at severe anxiety, memory impairment, and cognitive dysfunction. You don't just like to dream, you literally need to dream. Which brings us to section 3, the scientific debate, 3 theories of dreaming. So what exactly is the brain accomplishing during those mandatory 2 hours? Well, the first major theory from back in 1977 is the activation synthesis hypothesis. This one suggests your offline prefrontal cortex is basically just trying to string together a story out of meaningless neural noise. It's confabulating a narrative to make sense of random biological firing from your brainstem and limbic system. And honestly, that perfectly explains why our dreams are often so completely bizarre and disjointed. But then we have the threat simulation theory. This one argues dreams are an ancient virtual reality survival tool. And it brilliantly explains why being chased is a universally experienced nightmare across all populations. Your brain is safely rehearsing its responses to danger in a virtual environment where the physical stakes are exactly zero. The third framework is the emotional processing theory. Think of this as overnight therapy. It proposes that your brain reactivates emotionally charged memories and integrates them into long-term storage. But, and this is key, it strips away the waking stress chemicals. It preserves our mental health by downgrading the visceral emotion. This is actually why REM disruption is heavily linked to PTSD, where that overnight processing mechanism essentially fails. Now, while each concept illuminates a totally different dimension of the dreaming mind, they all fall a bit short on their own. That's the central tension of modern sleep research. Random noise doesn't really explain those universal themes. Threat simulation definitely doesn't explain the joy of flying dreams. Each theory holds a crucial piece of the puzzle, yet none answers everything.
All right, Section 4, Hybrid Consciousness, Inside Lucid Dreaming.
This brings us to one of the most profound, emotionally resonant experiences you can possibly have while asleep, the lucid dream. This is where you become fully aware that you are dreaming while you are still inside the dream. For a long time, this was treated with serious skepticism. Aristotle described it way back in 350 BC, but it wasn't definitively proven real until the late 70s. Then, researchers like Stephen LaBerge at Stanford literally taught dreamers to execute pre-agreed eye movement signals while asleep. They were actively communicating with the waking world from inside the dream. When we look at EEG scans, we can see exactly how this works. In normal REM sleep, your prefrontal cortex is offline, zero self-awareness. But during a lucid dream, we see these high-frequency gamma waves. It's a verified hybrid state where your prefrontal cortex partially boots back up. It inserts your waking metacognition directly into the dream environment without ever waking your physical body. It's wild.
And finally, Section 5, the Precognitive Illusion, Debunking Dream Prophecy.
We have to address that deeply jarring moment when you have a dream that seems to perfectly predict a future real-world event. It happens to all of us. But before we assume it's some supernatural prophecy, we have to look at the math. Generating tens of thousands of dreams over your lifetime creates a massive confirmation bias. You remember the one hit that perfectly matches reality, and you completely forget the 10,000 misses. It feels exactly like a prophetic vision, but it's really just the law of large numbers playing tricks on you. That being said, there is a very real biological mechanism at play here too, called the pattern completion process. Your dreaming brain acts as an ultimate pattern recognition engine. During the day, your waking mind absorbs all these subtle clues and weak signals that you didn't even consciously register. Then, while you sleep, your unconscious matches those patterns up and generates a predictive scenario. Sometimes, it gets it dead right. When you really step back and look at it, the scientific reality of pattern completion is far more awe-inspiring than any supernatural myth. Realizing that your sleeping brain is continuously crunching life's hidden data to prepare you for the future, that's way more profound than magic. It isn't predicting the future. It is completing a pattern using data you already possessed, but just hadn't consciously assembled. So as you head to bed tonight, I want you to really think about what hidden patterns, survival simulations, and emotional truths your own mind is about to build, experience, and instantly erase. When you close your eyes and your prefrontal cortex goes offline, what specific reality will your brain construct just for you?